Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Congratulations, guys. You made it through another working week. Wish I could have been there for you. I thought we'd celebrate the impending weekend with all things medial, those bastions of mediocrity, if you will. It's going to be Average Joe's Day today here at Guilecast. Exciting stuff in my favourite format, which, of course, as we all know, is the custom 2v2v2. And I say it every time, map makers, we need more 2v2v2 maps. They are awesome. We had those Core 2 that came out with the original pack, and we've had a handful since which haven't really ever cut the mustard. How that's particularly difficult, I don't know. But there just aren't enough of them. We love the team free-for-all format, so more of those, please. Also, guys, it's going to be a slightly longer replay today, but not quite breaching the level required for epicosity, the epic status. I am on the lookout for the next epic cast. Lots of people asking what's going on there. So please keep those replays coming in. And yes, I will consider Seaton's matches. The reason that my heart sinks, guys, when I get Seaton's matches, not with anything to do with the frequency with which it's played. It's purely that I've got to check that bad boy for desyncs and see if it's actually entertaining. And essentially, I'll get 10 minutes in on +10. And the sim speed will slow down. I've got to watch the rest of it in real time. So I could get to the other end of 45, 50, 55 minutes on from there. Only to find out, yeah, it was alright, but I'm not going to cast it. So that was a waste of time, which is something I don't have anything of at the moment. I have no time. So, but yes, I will disregard all of that. If you send me a Seaton's game, you promise me it's good, I will probably end up watching it and just shouting at you later. But keep them coming in, guys. I would love to get a nice epic replay for you lot. Anyway, today's game is going to be the Dark Heart, baby. I knew you knew that was coming. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these Joes are going to get on. So we're all pretty used to what the setup is here. We'll call this Team 1 over here, this Team 2, and the bottom landmass down here will be Team 3. Going first for Team 1 on the left here is Chieved Jaguar 8. Interesting naming strategy there, and he's going Seraphim in lurid green, opening first land. To the north up here, he's someone who's gone for a lot more of a simple naming strategy there. It's Hot Fog. Probably saw it on a cocktail menu at some swanky wine bar up in town or something. Anyway, here he is going Cybrin in Cyanide Scion, so all the C's, I think. Scion begin with a C? Answers on a postcard or indeed in the comment section below, guys, if you know if Scion begins with a C. I think it does. A little bit off topic there. Anyway, he's opening first land. There we go, back to Supcom. That's good stuff. Going out east to Team 2, we have someone who has just thrown the naming convention out the window and gone for a series of letters and numbers to make my life difficult. We're going to call him Snall, and he is going Seraphim in baby blue, opening first land. Chief Jaguar saying in local chat, I have never won on this map, though. That's exactly what your teammate will want to hear at the beginning of a game. Good to know. Anyway, Team 2's teammate number 2 is Iish, and he is down here in Cybrin in Ferrari red, opening first land. As we move on to Team 3, at the bottom, we have another Seraphim. It's Gluck, presumably an abbreviation of good luck. Gluck. And he's already away with his ACU. He is going Regal Purple, Seraphim opening first land, and then breaking with tradition. Over to his left, we have Dark Matter 2015, who is going UEF, opening first air in Spetsnaz green. So we have a Seraphim and a Cybrin apiece for Team 1 and 2, and a Seraphim and a UEF there for Team 3. And only one player opening first air. So we can see already as we move to the battle for the side islands, if we go up top, first of all, Snall is trying for the deny here, has a Zooey out front ahead of his engineer going to his opponent's beach, trying to deny this engineer from Hot Fog, coming in now his fair share of reclaim. Of course, there's a Salem wreck and a Trident wreck, which must have been hooning it to get that far up the beach. Either that or it was high tide, but good job. Anyway, but the first round is out, and to his everlasting dismay, Hot Fog, paying attention, avoids the artillery shell and moves in with the reclaim. And then probably says in the local chat, Killer NG. That's right, but he's still got another engineer to worry about. He's going to have to get the reclaim off first, and he doesn't manage it, so Snall going to win the reclaim battle. So after all of that, he's still going to manage to pick up his opponent's mass on the beach here. That will be an annoying start there for Hot Fog. Another engineer out there as well for Snall, going to pick up his own reclaim on his beach. Move to the bottom left island now. We can see Chief Jaguar has performed consistent with the meta. He's brought his ACU across to the side island. Sensible business, although not working on much reclaim at the moment. One engineer for Dark Matter, so assuming he builds up here with that NG, he's probably going to be behind if he doesn't bring his own ACU over to help. Dark Matter getting an upgrade on his commander there. As we move across to the last side island over here, the situation's reversed. It's Team 3 with the ACU that's moved over there, and just a single NG there for Iish, working on a land factory on the beach. Hot Fog not happy about the way things happened just a few moments ago. He's going to bring his ACU across to make a play for that side island. It really is absolutely crucial on Dark Matter to Dark Matter on the Dark Heart to grab the side islands. There are 3 mexes to play for, and in the early game, of course, quite a lot of reclaim. But not only that, strategically it makes real sense, because look how close your opponent's bases are. So I mean, you can get involved in some really decent land wars. TAC missiles in easy reach, T2 artillery in easy reach, and of course these channels going to be swarming with boats in a few minutes, I have no doubt. As we head down to the bottom left, the Chief Jaguar has moved in and picked up the middle sections of reclaim with his ACU. Still nothing going on down here at the bottom for Dark Matter. Almost happy, it would seem, to yield that side island. He is working on some navy, has a naval factory in play, but he is losing out 2-1 in terms of naval factories with his mirror over here. Chief Jaguar has 2 online, already working on a frigate, it would seem as well. Could be wrong on that, could be a sub. We will check momentarily. But that engineer missed out on all of that reclaim, and the Chief Jaguar 8 says, thank you very much, I will scoop that for my team. As we go to reclaim, we can see what he's pulling in already. Full barring his mass, he'll now be overflowing into his team coffers. Probably sensible to just stay on there and hoover it all up. You never know what's coming from this side of things. Of course, we can have a look and can say, don't worry about it, dude, you're fine, there's nothing coming. But as far as he's concerned, no intel as yet. You'd want to bank that mass as quickly as possible. If we take a look at how Hot Fog's doing, well, any overflow for him would be fantastic right now. He has 0 mass in the bank. He is working on a land factory on his side island though, so he's regained control of the beach. He is a little bit behind developmentally speaking, as we do have a land factory online there for Snall, which is already producing T1 units. But of course, I was about to say no ACU in play, but Snall has made the journey over with his commander, so a lot of firepower in play on that top island. Hot Fog could find himself evicted for a second time in the first 10 minutes of this one, which is that's not going to help you get a girlfriend if going around talking about Sopcon plays. Not that it ever has helped anybody get a girlfriend, let's be honest about it. It's not exactly a huge deal of street cred in RTS strategy games, unless you live in Korea and you play StarCraft, of course. Sorry I said it, I mentioned StarCraft. Almost like a swear word, I know. But the first naval exchanges kicking off down here at the bottom between Dark Matter and a Chief Jaguar. 2 frigates tickling each other to death. Another one coming in there for a Jaguar. But the real interesting fight, as far as I'm concerned, is what's going on at the top of the map. Hot Fog and Snall engaging one another with their ACUs. And Hot Fog needs to be a little bit careful here. Of course, he's got that slight disadvantage in terms of hit points on the ACU, but also we've got T1 land units, Zuis, to add insult to injury and extra pressure to the fight. Snall's going to head south and try to stop these Mantis, which he spotted coming around the bottom of the side island and threatening his factory, but that of course is going to leave his own units open to counterattack. But Hot Fog walking directly forward into the line of oncoming Zui fire, loses yet more hit points he really can't afford to do. Snall on 10,300 HP, Hot Fog on 4,500 and falling with every blast from that Seraphim ACU. Not looking good early on at the beginning of this one for Team 1. Hot Fog will be wanting to make a play for the C immediately, but I'm very skeptical he's going to make it. Down into the red now, 2,400 hit points and falling. We do have a couple of Mantis which are going to focus in on Snall's ACU, but he can afford to shrug that off for now. He really wants to get the kill here. Down to 1,000 hit points and falling. 900, 800, 700. He's right near the water. It's going to be a very close call thing. 300, 200. Can he stay on it? Oh my goodness, he dips under the water and will get away. A quick torpedo launcher build there, but he realizes he's not going to get that on in time. Hot Fog will be able to just stray right out of range, no problem there. But Snall once again evicts Hot Fog from that top side island and is now starting work on that land factory. Very nice hold from him so far. Hasn't even bothered to try and make a play for the Mexes. Of course, Hot Fog sitting in the center of those Mexes with his ACU just a few moments ago. We have T2 Air on the field, meanwhile, for Iish, who's trying to force Gluck off the bottom right side island there. So Corsair bombing those land units as we speak. One land factory still producing engineers, but those engineers seem to have a rally point set way back here. So I think for the moment, Gluck happy to cede control of that one. As we head back up to the top, Snall has destroyed that land factory, but now has some Jester problems. One Jester coming across the pond there from Hot Fog, causing all kinds of difficulties, and a Notha, as Chief Jaguar, of course, going Seraphim, coming in to pile on the pressure. Bomb lands, connects flushly, takes Snall down to 3,100 hit points. A couple of Iissels come in, so good observation from where the next threat was coming from there from Snall, but he's going to have to do some fancy strafing. He's going to get out of this one. Another Jester joins the fight. The first under pressure from the Iissels, but of course those 525 hit points at T1 take a long time for the T1 anti-air to chew through. Another couple of Iissels coming in though. Snall takes another Notha bomb down to 360 hit points. This would be a fantastic turnaround for Team 1 if they can score the kill here. That Jester, that first Jester now out of commission, but the second one still looking pretty healthy. The Notha bomb comes in again, but drops short onto the mountainside. Snall desperately trying to make it to the ocean, but it's going to be a very close thing indeed. He's down to 100 hit points and below. Still that Jester is firing and packs enough of a punch to kill the ACU. So Snall evicted almost on the nose of 11 minutes, and Team 2 go down to just one player. And you can see there are already Barracudas in play for Hot Fog that were coming in to harass Snall's naval base, and if they're thinking about maintaining the pressure, they could bring in here and start harassing Iish's base. Yes, we do have a lot of slivers, those T1 subs in the bay area there, so it's going to be a close run thing, but it doesn't actually look like Hot Fog is, well, a curse of the commentator kicks in the moment I say it. He decides to make the push, focusing in on the corner slivers first, but I don't think they're going to emerge victorious in this one. There's a lot of T1 subs, and now Salem as well might even lose a Barracuda or two in this engagement. There goes one of them. The other one is down to 130 HP and wisely withdrawing. So goodness me, interesting exchange there at the top of the map between Hot Fog and Snall. Very well played, Hot Fog. You don't often see that result after losing the side island. That's an instant disadvantage, but nice teamwork coming in there from Jaguar. If it wasn't for that Notha, that fighter bomber, those Jesters would not have packed the punch required to finish off the commander, and I think that would have been a hold on that top island there for Team 2. Alas, not to be. So the next hotly contested zone seems to be down towards Team 3. The Chief Jaguar bringing in his frigates now. Facing stiff opposition though from the Tiger Sharks. The destroyers for Dark Matter succumbing quite quickly to that pressure. Of course, there is one destroyer in the mix, so it seems to be enough to tip the balance at the moment. Early T2 naval pressure working out very well from Jaguar so far, so both Jaguar and Hot Fog comfortably at T2 Navy. We do have T2 Navy out as well for Gluck, be it just the single naval factory there. Has one destroyer. He really should think about bringing that in to help his teammate, who's getting royally punished now by a combination of units, not just the naval units but the Zoos which are coming in as well and firing over the cliff face onto the structures. Another reason why Seraphim's so strong on this map, and the fusion reactor does not survive and takes a couple of other structures with it. What has that done to Dark Matter's power grid? Well, it hasn't sunk him completely. He's still got a surplus, but it's going to help hurt his expansion plans quite significantly. Exchange of fire now between the rival Seraphim vessels. It actually seems like Gluck helping his opponents there. His beam weapon getting caught up on his allies' naval yard. That's never what you want. Moving over to Iish, he's got a few Jester issues. Funny enough, he's at T2 Air. Didn't have many aircraft in the area to defend initially, but eventually the Corsairs are dispatched. Jester gets shot down in good time and good order. Clink hammers going up on the ridge now for Dark Matter. Expensive unit. Some pros tell you to build them, some pros say stay away, but if only for the name, you should always build them. Permanently trained, it would seem, on the side island there. Take a look at where you can actually reach with those artillery pieces, so you can defend everything coming in through the strait here and harass most of the stuff that's not blocked by that one annoying hillock in the center. But you can't reach your opponent's base, but a quick TAC missile launcher on these cliff faces can cause all kinds of issues for your opponent. Chief Jaguar working hard on his power grid. Dark Matter looking very defensive indeed after that last little push. And this is the trap that you can fall into, really. Turtle up too hard and your opponent, who spends very little on any kind of defensive structures, puts it all into attack and as a result is mobile. Go out and grab that all-important territory which is required to expand your eco. Another round of Zooies coming in now for Achieved Jaguar, going after that bottom shield gen, already heavily damaged. As soon as that shield gen capitulates, so does the structure. Dark Matter with the engineering drone upgrade there, the backpack drones on board promptly get blasted by incoming Zooey fire, but another wave of naval units, this time with 3 destroyers. And that's going to be remarkably difficult for Dark Matter to repel. What he really needs under here if he wants to fend off some of these is some T2 PD. He needs to get some triads in the mix. Another shield gen going up. Dark Matter taking some fire there. Drops below 10k on his ACU. Gets the shield gen online, but look how quickly the hit points on the shield evaporate. Dark Matter trying to appeal to his other opponent up here, Iish, who is just busy developing his eco and his base. Of course, has Snall's old base to move into. Quite a comfortable situation sitting up there when the other two teams are going at it, and you can just tech up and eco. The Dark Matter down into the red, loses that shield gen again, down to 3,700 HP. Excuse me. Things really not looking good at all for Team 3. A lot of air power here, but it's not really helping them at all. They've got nothing to attack ground with in it. They could get to Tech 2 and get some torpedo bombers out. Might be able to fend off this group of destroyers. Gluck is spitting out an odd destroyer every now and again, but it's not enough to keep up with what's coming out from Jaguar. Dark Matter trying to issue advice to Iish, telling him to come in with some air power. Jaguar telling his teammate there that he's won the bottom. He certainly won the bottom for the fight for the sea. It's not quite over yet, but certainly not looking great. Another wave of Zuis inbound. Surprised he hasn't taken them north and attacked this side of things. There is another fusion reactor he could probably reach there, which would cause lots and lots of problems. But this is all wrong at this point. The incessant clink hammer building, it's not going to help him fend off the immediate threat, which is the huge quantities of naval units in his waters. Dark Matter screaming to Iish for help, but of course he's not on your team. He's under absolutely no obligation whatsoever. Jaguar looking very comfortable indeed. Not a lot going on at the top of the map either. Hot fog developing. Shared the mass extractors, which is always nice to see on that top island. And these clink hammers are expensive. Nearly 2,000 mass apiece. It's about 50% more again on a T2 P-Gen. Some idea how much of an investment that is. Imagine building that many T2 P-Gens and then adding an extra 50% on top. So far the hillside for Gluck working to his favor as Jaguar pushes over to his side of the landmass. But now all of the naval factories for Team 3 have been destroyed, and this is an impending sign of death when you've lost the naval fight and your Seraphim opponent starts pumping out cruisers, because you're then in a race to try and build as many TMDs, buzzkills in this case, try and keep up with that inevitable missile spam that's going to be coming your way. Another round of Zuis massing, and this time we do have a northern approach to Dark Matter's base. Only T2 shield gens, remember, so just 9,000 hit points on the actual shield itself. Not the structure, but shield, and down go those 2 forward clink hammers. And I think the shield gen is soon to follow. And then the power gen as well. Dark Matter says to Iish that he is done. And that is that, it would seem, for Team 3, potentially. No Navy, and now more than likely huddled up on the far side there of the island in Gluck's base, I imagine, as the rest of Dark Matter's base starts to succumb to Zui fire. Meanwhile, up at the top, 4 cruisers causing a few problems for Team 1. Iish sitting happily at the top there, lobbing shells of ionized plasma at one poor Wagner, who's down to about 70 HP, manages to survive by ducking back. Some Zuis coming in for Gluck, but not going to last too long at all. Frigates brought in. As long as Jaguar stays on the move, he should be okay. Certainly doesn't need to have his cruiser in the mix down here. Look forward to keep some range on it, but look at that, nice little quick drop there, brings in some engineers, scooping up the rest of these structures. All of that reclaim going into Jaguar's coffers now. But a little bit of blue on blue, because why not? These guys are clearly American. When your own Zuis destroy all of the NGs you've just dropped in there. Dark Matter's not particularly happy about the presence of the NGs in his old base. Well, that is the game. That's what's going to happen. And now Gluck and Dark Matter left to huddle under the same shield as the Zuis move in. Down goes the shield. That T2 Air HQ on the way to T3 as well. 50% complete. Will not complete, as it promptly gets destroyed in record time. Dark Matter working on some triads finally. But if you were to look up the phrase "too little, too late" in the Urban Dictionary, you would see a picture of that little scene there. Look at all of those Salems. I'd say Iish is about ready to push now. Needs to be a little bit careful of the Barracudas and also the harms which are going up here from Hot Fog, torpedo ambushing systems. One of them about 40-45% complete, something like that. If he's going to make a push, he should do it now before those things go online, otherwise he's in danger of Hot Fog sealing off that channel. But this is very strong, confident play now from Jaguar 8, who is pretty much single-handedly defeated Team 3 with the naval and Zui pressure. Dark Matter, with intrepid purpose, is heading back out with his ACU, no doubt trying to salvage something of this game. He's desperate to bring in Iish into this fight. Iish is just not concerned at all. In fact, he's working on a Monkey Lord right now, which is 75% complete and climbing. And if you actually look at the state of Achieve Jaguar, he is all aggression. There is very little going on in his base at all. So potentially vulnerable there if it makes a beeline for Team 1. In fact, there's not even a lot going on in Hot Fog's base. Certainly nothing that's looking like it can immediately stop an experimental in its tracks. North shield about to fail there for Gluck. Down it goes, although most of the firepower seems to be drifting over this way. Shield gen might actually get an opportunity to blink back on. We are getting some escalation in hostilities now between Hot Fog and Iish up at the top. Barracuda's not faring too well against these destroyers. And now a wave of cormorants coming as well, torpedo bombers. It's going to be an easy win for him. And Dark Matter, would you look at that, evacing his base. Can we see where he's headed? Well, waypoint for the moment over here. We've got a little bit of shadowing there from some Bullthus from Jaguar, ready to open up on him the minute he emerges from the water. Going to take him a while to chew through all that HP. In comes some renegades, but they're coming in single file, and only 3 of them or so. Easy pickings for the Salems that traditionally don't have an enormous amount of anti-air, but when you have as many of them as Iish does there, handful of renegades don't present a particularly large challenge. 7,800 hit points left on Dark Matter's ACU, who looks distinctly like he's going to be the next eviction in this game. More than likely before the 30-minute mark, as 3 destroyers make their way over the top of Jaguar. Even if he makes it out onto landfall to avoid those torpedoes, the beam weapons will open up. Down into the red he goes, below 1,000, and there he goes. And there's another ACU in trouble down here as well. So there goes Dark Matter at 28.5 minutes, and his teammate looking to drop out of this one not long after. He's not even evading those cruise missiles coming in. Boom, baby! Down he goes in the same minute as his teammate, leaving a massive vacant landmass riddled with mexes ripe for the plucking. No doubt Jaguar will send some build capacity. He already has a couple of engineers in play at the edge of Dark Matter's old base, but that will more than likely be his next play, and I love it. Now the units are dispatched to the south. Iish happy to see Team 3 drop out by that time and tech up, build up. Where on earth is that Monkey Lord that he was building earlier? If I missed it, I can't have missed it. He must be hiding it somewhere. There it is. It is down there in the bottom. So interesting tack he must have taken with that. Hasn't been doing an awful lot of scouting, and if he had, he probably would have realized that that's the way to go. But T3 Naval already online now for Jaguar, and we're starting to see battleships emerge. I think so. We've got one battleship there. I think we're going to have a sub-hunter coming off the conveyor belt next. We have 3 T3 naval yards in play, so Jaguar looking very fearsome indeed. But if you're looking at an eco standpoint, Iish actually well ahead. If you add these two values together, you're looking at somewhere like 166. Iish is on 186. Having a look at reclaim values so far, 25,300 banked so far for Iish. Jaguar on 21,000, and Hot Fog on a paltry 4. So really, reclaim values team-wise, not a great deal to choose between them. Of course, all of that base of Snalls would have gone straight into Iish's coffers. But I think Iish learning that he's not going to break through up here against Hot Fog with what he's got. There are now too many harms in play. 1, 2, 3, plus T2 torpedo launchers. We've got a Myrmidon in the sea there to protect against air attack. It's looking pretty nasty. But in comes the Monkey Lord onto the central island now, picking off the last structures belonging to Team 1. Hot Fog loses his factory and some associated mass from a mechs he used to own. Does still have one mechs, one T1 in the corner there. But all in all, nothing left now of any worth on that main central island for anybody. But this Monkey Lord poses huge issues for Team 1, who have no real way to defend against it. I imagine they would have seen the fire coming up the middle earlier. And of course that Monkey Lord now underwater somewhere with the stealth, so they won't be aware it's coming until it emerges. And this is the point where you go, oh no. There's a Monkey Lord in my base. Oh no. So, looking comfortable for such a long time in this one, Team 1 now looks like they could be about to lose their base. Hot Fog, the priority target it would seem, and a control K of just about everything in there from Hot Fog, not wanting to offer any free vet to that spider bot at all. It's interesting he didn't go straight for a Chief Jaguar, which is clearly the larger threat in this game now, but of course he's facing off against Hot Fog, so psychologically speaking you can understand why he went there first. Down goes T2 Naval Factory. Could do with getting that microwave laser trained in on the battleship over here, which is the only thing that's of any real threat to him right now in that Monkey Lord. But certainly power is about to be an issue soon, I'd imagine, perhaps even power and mass before too long. We have got that mass points on the side island belonging to Chief Jaguar, but look at this. We've got a few Wagners traipsing over to Iish's side of the map, and a huge quantity of Zooies, and of course the remnants of that T2 Navy that was so instrumental in destroying Team 3. But get on with the job in hand, Iish. Get that Monkey Lord in there and destroy the base, which is what he's doing. Core structures going down now, and there's another T2 P-Gen. Two more T2 Mexes and that T2 and T3 power plant. That's really going to hurt. What's that done to the power grid? Well, that's bottlenecked him very badly indeed. And that is the last of the power. So economic catastrophe now for Achieved Jaguar. It's all going to come down to how well Iish can fend off this counterattack. Most of it's T1. What they should be doing now is producing tons and tons of frigates and sending them over here to counter these T1 floating artillery. And we've got T3 air from Iish now, who has a couple of strap bombers out. That could tear some holes in this raggedy band of artillery. He focuses in on it. But it really does demonstrate just how powerful a T1 unit the Zooies are. Incredibly cost effective and in desperate need of a nerf. I've been going back to this for about the last 3 years now, saying something needs to be done about artillery, specifically the Zooies more than anything else. What a shame. Iish's fire base that has, well, more Cerberus turrets in it than I've got video games. That's quite insane. And unfortunately, all of it, every single energy round is impacting on the hill and not getting through to any of the units, which are now ravaging his main base. So he's going to lose pretty much all of that. We have got those strap bombers in the area, which are working on the Zooies, but it's not an efficient way to get rid of them. The Monkey Lord was destroyed. That died somewhere down here. There's the wreck. That's another large mass gift for Jaguar to get himself re-established. Has he sorted out his power issues yet? That's the question. Well, no, he hasn't, in one short answer. But would you look at this? Now, one of the T3 P-Gens under fire for Iish. And he can't hit those Zooies to stop them going for it. And the explosion's likely to take out of, oh my god, 225 hit points. Boom, baby! Oh no! Oh, that's ugly. Shield gen gone. 4 Cerberus turrets, a couple of zappers, and God knows what else went up when that iron reactor went critical. Oh, bad times. And now the T3 HQ under sustained Zooey attack. This is the difference between the Pro and the Joe games, and I say this with a lot of love in my heart for the Joes, being as I am one and would not have been able to have acted in any better fashion than Iish has, I would imagine, purely because of the pace at which I play the game. It's too slow. But that little attack of Zooies would have been countered effectively, I believe, had we had a 1500 plus rated player here. They would have known what to do, when to do it. They would have pulled out those frigates and kept on the move, avoiding the counterfire from the Zooies. So despite that phenomenal work done by the Monkey Lord, Iish finds himself not particularly that far ahead. Yes, he's got a lot more mass that's operational, but his power grid is smashed. And that is affecting his ability to not only harvest more mass, but also to produce anything. He's trying to produce galaxies as well. His first port of call right now needs to be establishing a stable power grid. Still has that one ion reactor, needs to protect that at all cost, and getting the 50% construction bonus there from planting another ion reactor directly down on top of the wreck. Highly recommend you Joes and newbies out there that don't do that kind of thing to remember to do that. If you lose a structure and you need to rebuild it, place it directly on top for a 50% bonus in construction cost and time. Repair the wreck as opposed to starting afresh. But now, 2 Seraphim battleships mobbed by slivers right now, the first, but still resisting that torpedo pressure and just rolling straight up past a Salem and blapping him point blank in the face, taking him down. Been playing a little bit of World of Warships lately. Very reminiscent of that. World of Warships, certainly a game that needs submarines. As that battleship now rolls into Iish's harbour. 38 minutes gone in this one so far. This does not look great for Iish. He has managed to complete a galaxy. The question is how much is he going to lose to the Seraphim battleship before he can take it down? Well, that is going to help. That battleship straying into Cerberus turret range on the beach there. But Iish, having only just completed that ion reactor, stands to lose it again. Not to the first battleship, but the second one, which is sitting well out of range of those Cerberus turrets. Iish, who was having power problems even with 2 of those T3 reactors, is now going to be in a world of hurt as that one goes critical and another one behind it is under pressure. Iish going to start construction again a little bit further back. Cannot re-establish control. Still harassing with these Revenants. 25 kills on one, 35 on another. This flies over a group of 3 closely knit Zooies to kill the one on its own. Interesting target prioritization there on behalf of those Revenants. Cybran AI, not the most intelligent of computers. Trade unions always causing problems in the Cybran ranks. Very inefficient people. Down goes that second Seraphim battleship, but too late to save that other ion reactor. So Iish still trying to get a second one online. And still down on power. It probably would have made sense to him to just get a quick T2 one up first. And then go for a T3 afterwards. Get that power grid stabilized. Things looking very quiet on this side of the map, and this is exactly what Team 1 want. They've been brutalized by that experimental and only just beginning to recover now as build capacity making it back onto that main landmass now for Jaguar 8, trying to re-establish some semblance of a base. Similar issue as well up here for Hot Fog. ACU has moved back out over this way. Started work on a Monkey Law, which was very ambitious. And then started work on a P-Gen, and then forgot. It's like he has some horrendous condition of ADD or something. Cannot get anything finished. And one irritating sub-hunter. And I hadn't noticed the... I think that is the wreck of the strategic missile submarine. It was lurking around there. It was operational a minute ago. And I'm guessing by the state of that sub-hunter, with the exchange it had, it must have succumbed there, which is a real shame because a late-game nuke could have been a game clincher there for Iish. Sub-hunter battling it out now with the Galaxy. A lot of people forget that the Galaxy-class battleship has torpedoes. They're not huge in terms of damage. And indeed, they're actually seemingly having problems keeping up with the regen on that sub-hunter. But what he needs to do is he needs to get that Galaxy out and ground fire the area of the water that the sub-hunter is in. Rely on the splash damage from those shells, but would you look at this, try as they may to get re-established, they just can't. Those revenants causing too many problems, and absolutely no operational air game for Team 1 at all. They could try and get some anti-air online, but against strap bombers that's pretty difficult. I'll tell you what is bothering me immensely, and that's these revenants not going after all this build capacity. Could severely hamper the ability of Achieve Jaguars to pump out more naval units and do exactly that, working on a cruiser. There we go, finally targeting those naval yards. Cruisers could spell death to this little push. I can't believe he hasn't managed to deal with this sub-hunter yet. One little bit of ground fire is all it would have taken. And would you look at this as well, mass points not being collected, mass reclaim not being collected. Hasn't got an operational land factory on here. He's far too distracted with the attack, and of course it's good to attack, but he's got to expand at the same time. 43.5 minutes gone. This one, I can't believe it's not quite been a base trade, but it's essentially been the next best thing. And there goes the last unit of build capacity. So the T3 Naval HQ will now succumb to that sub-hunter, which is slowly regenerating up to full health, now up to nearly 1900 hit points and counting. And the Galaxy just strolling past 3 harms. That's not good for your health at all. I realised he had 2 of those online. But a nanite torpedo launcher from Hot Fog is a nice addition to that ACU. It's going to allow him to shadow that battleship now and continue to pressure it as it drops down well into the red. Coupled with that long-range harms fire, He's not even going to make it around the corner of the peninsula there. Down he goes. Another huge mass injection for Team 1. I can only surmise that Iish suffering slightly from a case of SOCCOM head, knowing what to do next, where to go with it. Eco broken, has some offensive weapons, senses opponents on the back foot. It's just all a little bit too much, and it's something I'm very, very familiar with. Take a look at it from Iish's point of view. That really is all he can see right now. It must seem more daunting than it actually is, but he's going to lose his second galaxy down the bottom now. There it goes. He has re-established some kind of production on his main island now, a air factory that is at T2. Likes his air advantage, wants to maintain it. These Revenants still doing pretty well. 61 kills for that one, 63 for the other one. But still, all of this build capacity that's been in here that he could have slaughtered. Drop one bomb right in the center there. Again, though, of course, always easy to be the smart aleck when you can see everything. That is just the nature of the beast. Doesn't want to be going after the naval factories surrounded by engineers, as they will just automatically rep it. Jaguar now harvesting that Monkey Lord wreck. He's worked out he's still got that sub hunter, and that of course can shoot upwards if he surfaces it, which he's done. Hot fog taking a round to the head as the Revenant tries to destroy the Myrmidon, but actually gets shot down in the process. So one Revenant remains, and now with a sub hunter and a cruiser in the main base, second one isn't going to be far behind it. So the main offensive weapons that Iish had are now dead and buried. We had 3 cruisers there that he could have been using in that earlier fight. Don't know why he wasn't. Certainly not going to help him now. Cormorant's out for Iish, trying to deal with the horde of T1 subs that are searching for Iish's comm, which is sitting firmly on the mainland now, right in between all of those power generators. You know you're looking for someone when the sonar comes into their harbour. Well, they would have spotted him now. Field of view just enough on that. But I really do think Iish had an opportunity in this one to close it out. There was a moment there after the Monkey Lord had gone through where catastrophic damage had been inflicted. If he'd have managed to fend off the Zooey attack down there, it wouldn't even have been close. Now, cruisers cornered by the T1 subs with no means of returning fire. Come down here to try and pressure Chief Jaguar's side island expansion, which has been intact pretty much the entire game. But the cruisers don't last long against firepower. And now, Iish's re-established position under threat once again from cruiser fire. Jaguar 8 stationing some missile cruisers. just off the northern island there. Iish with a upgrade on his comms. Going to be standing next to that iron reactor when it goes up, which is going to take a massive chunk of his HP away. 6,000 hit points remaining. And Iish promptly cancels that. He's going to be standing by the next one if he's not careful when that goes up. He is walking towards his doom. The GG goes out from Jaguar. Is he even going to make it into the water? Well, I think he should. 3,300 HP left. But he's going to meet a sub-hunter when he does. So no good is it going to do him. And he goes critical. Boom, baby, at 51.5 minutes. And that is game for Team 1, who deserved to win it, in all honesty. That was solid pressure against Team 3 at the bottom from Chief Jaguar, who really did carry that team. Tore through Dark Matter, who actually has 100 extra global ranking points on him, but as we've seen time and again, that means nothing. It is about how you play on the day and of course how familiar you are with the map in question. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future, but in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile signing out.